sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim or Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. So today we'll be talking something very important, and before we get into this video, I am going to tell you that this video are in segments. And number one talks about one talks about how rich the cis TikTok is, how someone is going to say some nasty things about black people, and the video is going to be up, comment is going to be up. But when you, as a black person, when you say something, probably about reparations, about how people are treating black people and all that, before you can say jack, boom, the video is already taken down, like you are not saying it. So she was saying how people left a horrible comment for a black woman, I mean, like the N word with had R or something, and the video was up. They did not remove it. But then she posted something and said something about black people, I mean, trying to say something good about, boom, there is violation and all that. I mean, you all already know how anti-black they are and the rest of it. So, and the other one is also talking about how colored people are mostly the pedophile and they are found in church and all that. And I am going to say that please make sure that you are very careful whom you are leaving your child with. I mean, do not trust a lot of people. Make sure that people you are leaving your child or your kids for are someone you can vouch for. But then still, you can never be too careful. So do all you can as a parent or mother, father, to protect your children or your child. Let's get into this video because it is very interesting.
To quote one of my favorite content creators, white people, watch this video and I'll be right back.
And everyone today who is rallying behind Israel is going to lose. I mean, obviously they're going to lose. Because rallying behind Israel just shows that you are still stuck in this old colonialist, imperialist, racist, Western supremacist mentality that the entire global South rejects. And frankly, not just the global South. I mean, there are huge numbers of people in the West itself who reject this. The majority of people on Earth reject this. So you see, you're showing the whole global South, you're showing the whole world that you can't change. They're the same as you ever were. I think the West, and America in particular, needs to understand that the whole world is seeing you for what you are. Your stance on Palestine makes it starkly obvious to everyone that you are not actually mature or developed enough to deserve a leadership role in world affairs, and certainly not in the affairs of the global South, certainly not in all of the countries that have been your victims all these years. I mean, there's no repentance on your part. There's no contrition. There's no moral improvement or change in you. You are exactly the same people who wiped out the Native Americans. You're the same people who regarded Africans as subhumans. You're the same people who murdered hundreds of thousands of Japanese civilians in a matter of seconds at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You're the same people who dropped napalm on civilian villages in Vietnam. I mean, on and on. Nothing changes. And nothing exposes this today more than your stance on Palestine. Nothing demonstrates that you have not changed or developed in centuries more than your shameless support for Israel. And believe me, you're alienating the whole planet by this. When you back colonialist, Zionist violence against the Palestinians, everyone sees it as emblematic of your whole attitude to the non-Western world, to the non-white world. Everyone in the global South identifies with the Palestinians. Everyone in the Muslim world identifies with the Palestinians. When you declare your support for total war against the Palestinians, when you declare your support for a psychopath like Netanyahu calling for basically a final solution against the Palestinians, well, everyone in the global South gets the message. You are deranged, immoral, barbaric, bloodthirsty, racist savages. And all your talk about human rights and the rule of law and all of that is all just hideous hypocrisy. You don't mean any of it, and you never did.
White people, this doesn't bother you? This doesn't bother you that this is our legacy? It doesn't bother you that we are known for genocide, for colonizing, for mass murder, for rape, for spreading disease? We're known for being racist pieces of shit. We're known for breaking treaties. We're known for being liars, narcissistic, psychopathic fucking maniacs that spread our disease of savagery all around the fucking world. Colonizing, killing, raping. Y'all don't want to work to fucking fix that? You don't want to work to change that so that our future generations might actually have something to be proud of? You don't want to work to dismantle the system that, even though it provides you with some bullshit ass privilege, it is oppressing and causing major suffering, death for everyone who doesn't look like us. You're literally stepping on everybody else. You're crushing everyone else so you can have some fuck ass, small ass privilege that's not even a fucking privilege, because there's no difference from a poor white person and a fucking poor black person. Y'all both poor. I never understood that. I grew up just as poor as everyone around me, if not even worse off. But I was supposed to believe I was somehow better because I was white. Far as I know, none of my black friends ever went to bed hungry, but I went to bed hungry plenty of nights. But it's okay, you can't feed your kids. You're white, so you're better. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't blame the rest of the world for looking at me like a monster because of what I know, because of the truth of racism, because of the truth of what white people have done. But I would like to do something to fix it so that my grandkids maybe don't have to be looked at like that, so that they don't grow up like that, so that they have a better mind frame, so that they're not racist pieces of shit, so that they know the truth of everything, not some whitewash bullshit. We got to do better at using our white privilege to dismantle white supremacy, because I am truly fucking embarrassed to be a white person, especially in America. Thanks for listening.
Can we talk for a moment about how biased this app is, and specifically how anti-black it is? Because I've received a CGV and a 12-hour comment ban for leaving this emoji on a Mutuals video in Good Humor. I received a strike and had a video removed for saying this phrase. And I received a strike for doing absolutely nothing while duetting a video that itself is still up. But none of that compares to this. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show the comment, but I and many other people reported a comment that was left for a black woman using not only the hard ER, but also see you next Tuesday, and TikTok found no violation.
95% of all pedophiles are white heterosexual men. At least that's been my experience in my 20 years of practice. And I cut my teeth on cases where I sent men to prison for doing that. Now, this comment was left on the video where I said that. You should go back and read that commenter's comment. It's very, very good, very well spoken. And the point that they're making is that child rape comes from patriarchy and white supremacy, and that's abundantly true. But what that comment did for me is link in my mind two things, not just the conversation that we're having right now about preying on children, but also research I've been doing this year about the witch trials, the burning times, the hanging of women. And what I found so fascinating is this. In both cases, the church is a problem. Now, before you come at me, if you're a Christian, I still believe in Jesus. I still believe in God. But the church, I've had to deconstruct just a bit, and here's why. Centuries ago, during the witch trials, women were midwives, they were healers, they were wise women. They would gather together, they did a lot of work together. They would exchange information on plants, and they would gossip, which, by the way, was not a bad word when it first came about. It just meant close friendship. The government wanted to get women out of medicine so that men could take over. So they made it to where you had to have a university degree to practice medicine. Well, women couldn't go to university. Then they wanted to suppress women more because, of course, women were rebelling. And so the church steps in at this point because it's an institution that seeks power and has for centuries and centuries. And it says, hey, guess what? All women who heal are witches, and all witches worship Satan. And so the Satan fear came in to where they had to burn witches. Now, that was neither true then or now. Most of these women just had good old-fashioned plant-based knowledge. In fact, some studies have suggested that the reason that far fewer women died of the bubonic plague was because women were still secretly healing each other, whereas the men went to the male doctors and they all died. I love that. Now, what does that have to do with pedophilia today? Well, I'll tell you. Of the 95% of white heterosexual men who had preyed on children, a large, vast majority went to church. And what I would find is the churches, even when I had undeniable evidence and was proceeding with prosecution, the churches, the pastors would call me and say, this person has publicly repented after I caught them. And we are holding him accountable and God's going to forgive him. Can you let this go? No. Even Christ himself, I wish Christians would read the Bible. Even Christ himself said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. And no one was going to abuse a child in my jurisdiction without me getting my pound of flesh. Not that I'm Caesar, but you understand what I'm saying. I cannot tell you how many times I got those phone calls, and I cannot tell you how many times they would actually argue with me when I would say, Christ said, render unto Caesar, this person has consequences. Well, they've already had consequences. I had one pastor get furious because the sex offenders wanted to continue going to church. And I said, they cannot go anywhere where a child is. So one pastor understood my concerns, and he started a service just for sex offenders where there would be no children allowed on campus during that time. Do you know how many sex offenders went? None. You want to know why? There was no access to kids. So again, let me just finish this by saying, monsters walk among us, and they go to church with you, and they go to the grocery store with you, and you cannot tell who they are just by looking at them. So watch your kids and watch yourself and be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you keep an eye on your kids. Mind whom you bring home. Mind whom is where they are going, what they are doing, and all that. And by then we can, be really very careful of our environment as a whole. And also mind the people you leave your kids for. Some of them come, some pedo come as family members, uncles, and all that. But just be very watchful and make sure you don't leave your children, for everybody to watch, and all that. And yeah, let's get into the TikTok. Of course, you all already know that. I see so many videos because, why would people wake up every day to make videos about Black people, saying some nasty things about Black people, and the videos are all up? They never remove it. Then just 1 minute of a Black person talking about reparations, or saying something about reparations, or talking something about probably Black Wall Street or Rosewood, and the video is going out straight up, straight away. So that shows you how anti-Black TikTok is. You all remember that time, you wake up every day to so many horrible things colored people are saying about Black people. Their videos will not be taken away, except when Black people start probably mass reporting the account and they get it back. But TikTok will not wake up. You are gonna just write a comment. You all can also even write it. You are gonna be writing a comment, and you find out that you posted a comment, but the comment is not showing. You cannot see your comment. It tells you a lot of what they do. What is happening to mine? Ooh. What's going on? So it tells you a whole lot of what they do, how anti-Black they are, and the rest of it. But then we keep going, we keep moving. But you can imagine seeing somebody leave a racist comment for a Black person, and it did not get a violation. But you are going to talk on something about how people treat Black people, and you are going to get a violation or get a strike. You all are doing great. So this is all I have to say. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.